sport's been pretty good. Like, we've got no Dylan, so Dylan can't roll his eyes
Yeah.
at the moment for this. So sport's been pretty great.
Tell you what, greatly positioned right now this week
For like an... Oh, I know what you're going to say. Go on.
for a Brisbane double. You know, this time in 2 weeks, I'm going to be very happy or slightly happy or very disappointed.
Potentially.
I mean, those are the
You know what?
only options. But
So the AFL are currently in the position where they could either... They have like potential outcomes for the future for the grand final.
yes.
And there's one very good option,
There's-
two middling
there's one that,
options,
like,
and there's one fucking horrible nightmare option that they're like, please God, no.
well, it depends
um,
on whose perspective you're looking at it from.
From the AFL's perception of trying to
Okay,
fill the
yeah.
MCG on grand final day.
There
is
is one
like-
clear-cut choice.
There's one clear-cut choice of like, okay, if the AFL could, rig it, which people have accused them of doing such things, it would be a Collingwood-Carlton grand final.
Grand final.
It's most likely going to be a Collingwood-Brisbane grand final,
If all things are right with the world.
if all things are right with the world. Or the fucking obscene one that they don't want is a Brisbane GWS grand final, which
mean,
I actually think is actually highly likely. I think
really, you think
I think
GWS
it's-
has all the momentum?
I think GWS could actually just absolutely mug Collingwood on Friday night. Even on the 6-day break, I fucking love how GWS play. I think GWS are playing the most entertaining football in the AFL for the finals. Like, they're, of course, if you love your team, and sure, but
Yeah.
from a third party perspective, GWS is the way they play footy, the orange tsunami they call it, fucking awesome, really fun to watch, and is very good to play. And then watching Melbourne bottle it last 2 weeks has been highly entertaining. As somebody who has a bit of disdain for Melbourne, watching them just like go, play well enough where they probably should have won both games, but
they had enough
lose
shots.
Yeah, to have enough shots to lose it the way they did against Carlton is amazing.
I mean, their game against us, what was it? I can't remember his name, but someone that was like had several shots right in front and like
probably
the
like Bailey
worst
Fritsch or
yips.
something.
No, not Fritz. Someone else had like the worst yips I'd ever seen in a final.
Well,
Like-
Bailey Fritsch was horrible against Collingwood. There was a Marky took like 35 on a slight angle, and he kicked it, and it just went like 45 degrees out in the full. I was like, what the fuck? How do you do that? Like, yeah, no. But sport's great. F1's in a fun place. Verstappen is actually fucking sat 11th currently in qualifying for the Singapore Grand Prix, which happens in a couple hours' time.
The racing's all cool. The thing that everybody cares about, the dragons running across the track. You see the
That was
story?
amazing. I did see that actually. Well, that's the thing. Sporting events being postponed or delayed due to wildlife over the weekend. There was this,
Yes.
there was the lizards running across the track that they had to catch. We'll call them dragons because that's way funner. And then the GWS versus Richmond women's AFL game was delayed due to a fucking snake that was around the pitch. So wildlife, man, it's taking things back. It's going full Avatar and taking
but,
back nature.
They're taking back nature. My favorite part was reading that apparently one of them got run over, and of course it was
no.
Fernando Alonso.
Of course it was,
Of
man.
all the rest, all the he's like, get out of the way.
He's
Doesn't
like,
care.
fine,
What do you think this is?
fine, I'll do it myself. Like, insert Thanos getting the gauntlet, man. It's just Alonso. And then he didn't even qualify that well this weekend. And his partner fucking binned it into a wall. Good on you.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And then
Actually,
building.
yeah.
No, go on.
No, bring it back to the AFL. Did you see like all the Carlton supporters whining that the plane trips to Brisbane this week are very expensive?
Well, this actually, you know what? Plane trips are very interesting in terms of just general, because I was thinking about this today, because on top, like, sure, Brisbane plane tickets suck, but and kind of just to piggyback off this, I saw today that the WWE were looking at holding an event in Perth, and I
Yes.
saw people like being like, "Oh, this is great! It's going to be Optus Stadium." I was like, for everybody not in Perth, that fucking sucks because the flights are just horrible. Getting to Perth is so terrible in general compared to
Well,
everything
yeah.
else.
Well, I'll find out in a few weeks. I have to fly to Perth.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Uh,
are you flying from Melbourne or are you going back
I'm
to
flying from
Brisbane?
Melbourne,
You're
so
flying from Melbourne? Yeah.
I mean, there was one option where it was literally cheaper to fly, like in the middle of the day, fly back to Brisbane and then fly across
Holy shit.
to Perth.
That's insane. To
That's
go
like one of
further
those weird
away,
quirks. Yeah,
to go back across, that's insane.
but it's fine. But yeah, it seems weird that they're doing that when Perth is the furthest away from America of
It's
all
the
the
most
all the
isolated
state cities in
city
Australia.
in the fucking, yeah, it's
But Optus
insane.
Stadium, it looks pretty good.
The stadium does look good. I will say, I going back from WWE Super Showdown a couple years ago now, it'd be pre-pandemic. I didn't love,
Mm.
I didn't love it in terms of it was at the MCG, which is the equivalent sizing to Optus Stadium,
Yeah.
and mine were like mid-range tickets, and I was like level 1 of the MCG, and I was still
Mm.
really far away from the fucking ring because sure, you go to the footy to watch. You go to the footy at these massive stadiums that are designed to it. Awesome. But these stadiums, and then you're putting a ring in the center of it. Everybody else is so far away. Like you're watching a screen a lot of the time. It's good to be there for the atmosphere and stuff, but I don't know. I do prefer wrestling at like kind of slightly smaller venues, personally.
Yeah, just the noise kind of just disappears, right? Is the thing
Yeah,
in the stadiums. It just goes straight up.
go straight up and
Uh,
out
at
of
least
there.
for at least for those type of like when you're on the field and stuff.
Are
Yeah.
you how are you going? Okay, circling back to AFL again. Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling confident going into Carlton or
Yes, I'm pretty
yes?
confident.
You're pretty
There's
confident.
always the bit.
Wow.
There's always well, I mean, Carlton just kind of have scraped past in their last two matches, so uh, you
But
know,
like at the same time, they've scraped past two opponents that have been very kind of scrappy and very like the contest has been there the entire time for both games. Like I
yeah.
don't know. I wouldn't even
I just
call.
feel
Sure, it's at the Gabba. I
yeah,
don't know.
that's
I
the
think
key thing. The Gabba record, not unbeaten for however knows how long, 50, 60 years, something like that. You know,
if
I'm just confident. We'll have all the momentum and we'll just blow them out of the park.
Ugh. I feel like you start the first quarter and it gets very scrappy, and then or it gets like it's a very contested game, and you're like, oh no, this could go either way because I guess Brisbane.
It depends on how many free kicks they start giving to Patrick Cripps for stuff. No,
Dude, he was
you know.
getting annihilated on Friday night. Like he was
Well,
just getting.
it'll be interesting to see what players actually back up. I guess is the other thing because they feel like they had a couple that should have been taken off for concussions, right?
No, but the thing is, I don't think like looking at what the doctor says. I'll be interested to see what's the outcome for those because they were hits to the at least one of them was I read was hits to a jaw.
Yeah,
They all the vision they looked
Wiedering
at,
looked very out of it. So
he
at
looked out of
points,
it, but I guess they then done the protocol after the game because of all the hysteria, and he was fine anyway. I guess there is it's the
Hmm.
duty care. I don't know if the doctor has looked at it and said this is fine, this is okay, he's all right. I've looked at it. I think he's all right. Go from there. I don't know. It is a grey area. It is concussion is the scary thing at the moment.
Yes,
It's yeah, it's very strange and very interesting
and
time we're at for football.
that'll probably be the news cycle this week after the Brendan Maynard hit took up all the oxygen last week.
Ugh, could not get away from it.
You're
I
happy
think
with how that panned out?
personally, yes. I think it's going to end up as a rule change. Like next year, that'll be
Yeah,
gone.
they're,
It'll
they're
be
going to fix that.
they will change the rules next year. But I think it's a scary position for the sport because as it was brought up by several pundits throughout the week, okay, how far off are we from banning the high mark? because at the moment, a marking contest, players are very free to jump up and put their knee in the back of somebody else's head.
Hmm.
And there is no kind of, that is an approved action in the game.
Yeah.
How long until that gets removed because of the
I mean, yeah.
potential to cause damage and the potential to injure somebody around the head? I
Yeah.
think
I guess
is
at some point, they just have to sign a waiver that
well
there's a
that
certain amount of risks.
I think
You
that is
know,
the thing, right?
I
Where
think they just like need to legally get themselves in a good standing where, like,
yeah, because even with like the Maynard and the
Brayshaw.
Maynard Brayshaw hit, I was like, I think that's just footy. That is at the end of the day just a freak accident in the middle of footy. That's just happened.
Was it though?
You can't. I don't see
I
how.
don't know. Was it a freak accident that a guy running straight at another guy and jumping straight at him hit the
I
other
think
guy? I don't know. I don't know if
because
that's a freak
there
accident.
are no, because it doesn't happen more often. That's why it's a freak accident.
Yeah,
And players run each other and try and smother all the time. It was
yeah, 'cause
just
they go for the ball.
he was gone for the ball. Oh, don't even. Oh,
Realistic
crazy
attempts.
kid.
That's what it is. That's the difference.
Crazy kid.
Should have gotten at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Missed 2 matches.
Yeah, should have gone
Would
2
have been
weeks.
comfortable with that. Yeah.
Would have been comfortable with that fucking Brisbane flog. Yeah, no, it's it is. You excited for PAX? PAX is what two,
It
3 weeks away
is
now.
2 weeks, so we'll have one more of
3
these
weeks.
before PAX. But
Th-
yeah, three,
it's
two and a
3.
half.
Yes, 2.5. Well, it's 2 weekends and then it's PAX week. Yes,
Yes.
technically 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, anticipation's starting to build up. Obviously, we talk about some stuff on Arcade Cash this week. But yeah, it's going to be a crazy couple of weeks in the lead up, and then I'll be away, going over to Perth for my brother's wedding, and then yeah, and then
Why does everything
then
happen in
all the video
October?
games start dropping. I know
All the video games have already
all
started.
the video games start dropping in October.
They
I mean, they've
they
already started dropping,
they're
but
we're already in the full swing of, I guess, video gaming. I am at the very. It's very interesting because I've put that many hours into Starfield. I am now today, like last
are you
today, and
sated?
I'm like at the point I'm sated with Starfield, and I'm like, I need something else. Like I'm just dying for the next thing, I guess, if that makes sense, which is fucking stupid. Like I'm looking forward to. I'll be jumping into Payday 3 this
It's
week with
weird because
friends.
there hasn't been like a fear of missing out thing because everybody's
No,
playing Starfield.
I know.
So you don't know what to play next.
Exactly. And it's like I've got Payday coming out this week. I might
Yeah,
pre-install Lives of
Lies P.
P and have a look at that maybe. I don't think it'll be a game that's for me, but I'll still want to have a look. I like the aesthetic. Um I'm just, never been very great at those kind of Soulspawn type games. I know it's very Bloodborne heavy in
Hmm.
terms of its like its nomenclature and like how it's been inspired by. But yeah, no, there's that. There's Payday 3 with friends. I think I'm excited for. It'll be fun.
Yes.
And then beyond that, it's like Assassin's Creed, Spider Man. I even was looking at the original Spider Man game today on my PlayStation because I started it a little while ago. I started a new playthrough and was like, I should fuck around with that a little bit more because
Hmm.
it's not too far off, which I think is crazy that that game is not too far off, and I don't know why. Like I just
That
don't.
is crazy.
It feels, I don't know, almost very strange for a PlayStation game or a Sony game in recent times because so often those games are like kind of built up as the kind of flagstone, like the flagship for the year, kind of.
Hmm.
They feel like the big milestone, and I guess because of things like Starfield, like Baldur's Gate 3, um, like Zelda, it doesn't. I guess because the gaming development community as a whole is having such a healthy release schedule this year, it doesn't feel like PlayStation is so heavily, maybe personally, so heavily relied on for like a blockbuster big title this year. So it just, I don't know, it just feels a little bit strange to me.
Mm.
And I don't quite know, but I'm excited. I was really excited by what they showed on the PlayStation showcase. It's very fun. It's gaming's good.
It is good.
Gaming's
You know
good.
what else will be good?
What else would be good?
The Brisbane Broncos winning the NRL.
Oh, okay.
You know, bring it back to sport. You know,
Let's
that's
go
the
back
other
to
side of the
sport. I
coin. You know,
tried
the
to save
Broncos.
people.
This is
I
like the
tried
first
to
time
put-
in like in you know, I think in history that the Broncos and Lions have been like in these prelims at the exact same time of the year. You know, they have the potential to win both competitions in the same year, which is unprecedented, I believe, from any
It is. I'm very
city.
interested by Brisbane going to the MCG.
I mean, I don't want to
Brisbane
jinx
Lions
anything,
going to
but
the MCG.
what are they going to do? Are they going to have they're going to have a joint parade? Like, are they going to have two separate parades? You know, you know,
I think
we have to
you
split them up, or
I
like,
think you're
you know,
getting ahead
that
of
doesn't
yourself
seem.
there, Chief.
You know, I just hope somebody is
Aren't the
thinking of
finals
these
2 weeks
things.
apart though? Aren't
No,
the
they're back to back.
they're on the same weekend?
Yes.
Oh, I thought for some reason.
So the AFL Grand Final will be on Saturday, and
Yep.
the NRL will be on Sunday night. So
I don't know.
yeah.
I guess I'm so used to the NRL being like a week after or 2 weeks after or something.
Yeah,
a week
occasionally
before.
are there, but
But
I think with the bye round being introduced by the AFL like the last few weeks, they've just lined up.
probably lined it up more. Yeah, no, I get that.
But yeah, it's going to be exciting. You know, it seems like it's probably going to like much like the AFL. It seems like the top two will make the grand final. Melbourne Storm have been pretty scratchy, and obviously they had the. Did the Pappenhausen injury even break into your
A little bit. I
newsfeed,
saw
your
some
world?
rumbles of it. I think I saw something, some bits and pieces about Melbourne Storm
Yeah.
pop
So
up.
this is a guy who's been out of the game for over 12 months because he shattered his kneecap. So he's worked his way back into the team. 3 games in, breaks his ankle in a match.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
Pretty
sign
heartbreaking.
of,
So yeah, it's not the worst injury you've seen, but yeah, it's just, you know, sometimes sport is cruel.
yeah, and you see that in so many things where people are just unlucky. Certain people are just 100%. You've just got no luck. You are just your body is just giving up on you, or you're just getting into really awkward situations, and it's just like bad luck, Chief. And it's
just,
it's a real hard thing, I
so
think, for people to get around.
So Melbourne will play the Panthers. The Panthers have been the standard bearer for the last few seasons. So they're probably going to win because Melbourne lost terribly to the Broncos in round 1 of the finals. Now the Broncos are going to play the New Zealand Warriors. Now the Warriors are the feel good story because they had to come live in Australia for like the last few years while COVID was going on.
Yeah,
pretty much keeping the competition alive.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of goodwill towards that team. So, you know, of the 2 Brisbane matches, that's the one I'm more concerned about. But I'm pretty confident we'll win. And then double parade.
I don't know. I don't see how the Brisbane Lions go to the MCG and win, especially if it's at Collingwood. I think they're gonna have a tough old
Break
time.
the hoodoo on the biggest stage of them all. Repeat of 20 years ago.
Shit! It is.
It's gonna be great.
It is a big hoodoo. It is. Guys, you even lost to Hawthorn this year at the MCG.
Don't bring that
Hawthorn.
up.
We were 16th.
Were you there?
No, it was the one home game I didn't go to this year, and I
yeah.
was so mad. I was so mad. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other sports stuff you want? What did you think of The Rock coming back?
I think.
Do you think he's back, or was it just a one time?
I don't know.
In the same
I think
city?
there's these rumors about fucking him and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania next year, which I hope are a lie.
No.
I
don't think they could stretch that story out. Here's my theory: Survivor Series. Rock versus Roman. Rock debuted at Survivor Series however long ago.
I think,
you know.
I think if you turn up, I don't know. I think The Rock this week was just because this is the week that the TKO
Yeah, that's true.
deal went through. Like UFC and WWE
It's crazy that
to create
UFC
TKO.
and they merged.
They're one company. Vince McMahon is back in a very powerful position. There is fucking announcements left and right of different important WWE office staff leaving, just being like,
Yeah,
they're done with the company.
they'll let go. Yeah.
Um, I think it's a very interesting position and an interesting time for
Mm,
WWE. So I think it definitely,
that played
to be
into it.
honest, right, to see both The Rock and John Cena on the show, I think is both a good thing and a bad thing. I think it's a good thing because you're like, cool, it's great to see him back. There's nothing like a Rock. Even though I didn't even like The Rock's promo this week, actually, I thought
No, it
Austin
was fine.
Theory stealing some of his moments was like a cheap way to try and get heat against Austin, and it just like Austin Theory just needs to go away for a while and try and fix something or change something.
Yep.
Um, but at the same time, it's like okay, SmackDown is such a weird product at the moment with Reigns not being there, this Jimmy Uso storyline making very little to no sense. You've
Yep.
pulled out, it's in terms of a lot of star power. They've put the tag belts on Judgment Day, so Judgment Day can appear on SmackDown now to kind of give them a bit more. But it's like, okay, you're relying on, especially for big weeks like this, The Rock and John Cena to appear and kind of. It's like okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Uh,
I don't know.
I
I'd
mean,
be interested.
it just the timing has worked out for them to come back, I guess, because of the writers, because of the actor strike. They can't appear in any movies, so why not? Just, you know, once a week, take a bump, or make somebody else take a bump. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't see The Rock being there for.
No,
I know
yeah,
Cena was signed up for something like 6 or 8 weeks or something he had booked.
mm,
But yeah, I don't. I don't know. I'm not a. I think WWE is something interesting that I keep an eye on. I wouldn't be able to watch it. I'd never be able to watch an episode of Raw. I wouldn't make it through. That would be
no.
horrendous. It's
I just
3 hours.
watched through Twitter and YouTube highlights.
If something big
That's pretty
happens,
much it.
yeah, I will watch. Even though I fucking someone on the WWE editing team is like they just edit something's real bad for YouTube highlights where they just end a clip maybe like 10 seconds too early. Like I don't know. There was something I wanted to
Mm,
see where there was a thumbnail of John Cena and AJ Styles, like kind of doing like the almost the Predator style fucking hand clap, and I
yeah,
was like, that's awesome. And then it got to the
you
point
watched the
in
clip.
the promo where it was just about to happen, and it stopped, and I was like, you
Yeah,
fucking, I got
son
baited by
of a
this.
yeah.
I got baited by this massively. You know what I've gotten into recently,
What?
and I don't know how people do this, but holy fuck, and it's become my new thing to go to sleep to is people doing like really long retrospectives on video games. So like what I've got in the minute is people have put like and this is the crazy bit, fucking 12-hour fucking retrospectives on like Oblivion and Skyrim and like fucking the Fallout games and of course Metal Gear Solid. So I'm just like chucking those on and falling
So
asleep
what do you
listening to
mean by
those.
retrospective?
So they are like in fucking detail going through like story moments of a game and going through how like I guess it's like a video essay but going through the story and different individual side quests and different missions and talking about interactions between characters and um you know I can't say I've listened to a full one yet because I keep falling asleep during it but
I'm about to say, all these people putting in incredibly hard work, 12 hours, intricately detailed, and that's what you used
but
to go to sleep to.
yeah, and it's funny because I keep running into these. Like the thing that got me into these was somebody had done like a low file or ASMI style of like lore readings from different video games where they would like it's like lore to go to sleep to. And it would just be somebody in a very soft voice and a very kind of relaxed with like music playing in the background of people like talking through lore elements in video games that I thought it's fucking. It was just I was like, this is amazing what people are doing. I'm a big fan of like lo-fi music or going to sleep with music in general. Which I know is not for everybody, but I think it's funny to see this. So it's very weird when I wake up in the middle of the night and like the video is still playing. It is still like talking about a random quest or mission from Oblivion. But yeah, no, they've been real good. I'm real good. You know, find what helps you go to sleep, people, and use it.
I wouldn't have thought you'd need any help getting to sleep, from my experience.
Well,
Isn't it? You just close your eyes and you're gone.
sometimes, most of the time, yeah. Sometimes not so much. Sometimes I'll lay there for a bit. It depends what I'm going. I don't know. I think maybe lately because I'm fucking wrecked from work. Yeah, but I do have that uncanny ability of just being like, yeah, peace out. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah. Is there any other sports stuff you want to talk about for while Dylan's not here?
No, can we give? Let's. He won't hear this until we get into the feedback for him. So, Dylan's just the worst, you know. Recording night, he's like, guys, just record Arcade Couch Between the Cushions without me. Start the show. Start, the actual recording of Arcade Couch. I'll be there when I'm there. What a fucking diva, you know? What an absolute diva he is.
I don't know what else to say. That pretty much sums him up. But we can't tell him that to his face. Because we rely on him so much.
We do. Please.
It would just cause too many problems.
It would. So you gotta accept divas at when they work hard. Sometimes they deserve to be divas, and
people love divas.
Yeah. Especially
Maurice,
when he's in a
Kelly.
mood. He is a total diva, especially in those days where he rocks up in his yellow Pikachu hoodie. It's like he's in a very extra mood.
What are we talking about, guys? What is going on right now?
Why don't we record Arcade Couch?